He was saying, do you think legislation will be enacted to give us back our rights? You know, like the ones that have been taken away, like fair use and sign and other things. And I was telling him, no. Not only do I think they won't be brought back, I think they'll try and pass some new law to take what's left of them away and tell us it's for our own damn good.
The reason why we had fair use in the first place because they paid money. Sony wanted to make more money with VCR. But now they own media, so they want that to go away.
Now, Sony was an electronics company.
At the time, but now they have
Bit, we just started. He'll be back, people. It's like, we need like Jeopardy hold music or shit when crap like this happens. Okay, let's see. Okay, Captain Camera Screw With. Okay, you know what? You can be a cartoon. You know what? Fine, be a cartoon for the show. And like, you know, whenever you're getting inquisitive, you should do that. You should just like have those questions floating there the whole time. It's like.
When I want to interrupt, I'll go like this. When I get pissed off, I'll do this.
I should turn the light on.
Oh, I should turn this light on too.
No, you actually look fine. I don't have any of the ceiling lights or crap on because it's too damn hot.
Well, I have 65 degrees Fahrenheit, so there we go, I'm good.
I hate everybody. Everybody's not hot. I'm fucking burning up. It's over 90 degrees.
Want to start without him?
You know what?
We're just going to edit this part out.
I think we're just going to edit this part out.
Okay, I'll turn off the effects now.
No, leave them on.
Okay, how about this?
Or use them appropriately during the show, okay?
Okay.
It's like...
How about I just put the stars on for now? Now I'll turn it off for now, and then I'll use the effects appropriately. Now, when you have me talk about something, I'll have the question marks and inquisitive about it, you know. I can zoom in, sweet.
Can you zoom out?
Huh?
Can you zoom out?
No, it was always zoomed out. Why, you want me to?
Zoom out. There you go. Stay there.
Why?
Because there's this artificial zoom in that goes on, and I want your head in the shot. If you can angle up...
I mean, pan up?
Yeah, pan up a little. Okay. You can zoom in one more mark. And you probably want to pan to the box side.
This side?
Other side.
Oh, sure.
One more. I need to have you all start using that software.
Well, I'm using a Microsoft webcam. In Windows.
Yeah, I know. That's what...
Then everyone should use webcams too and have like a super fast computer so they can run Java.
Oh no, that's actually like what I want to build into the client. Like everybody has control of effects like that. They're in charge of their video feed.
Yeah, and the effects will be plugged into the stuff.
Exactly, which means they can just have fun and screw with stuff. Because the way it's set up here is, I mean, aside from tweaks like that, it has to be all master control and stuff. And we're welcoming back Runs Away in middle of recording start cast, Bit.
I asked if you were, and you said you weren't, man.
Yeah, but I had just started when you decided you were going to go do that.
Oh, okay.
I said, wait, we done it. Wait. Oh. And now we're blind. Blind! As you can guess by the title, we're here until the copyright police round us up and throw us in our padded cage. It's like...
Good fun. The nice soft walls, it'd be fun to bounce off and on and off.
I'll buy that it's the Jimi Hendrix one with part 2, especially since Sony's already put the thing there. But now I want to know if that's what it is, why Jimi Hendrix is not allowed in Germany. You know? And the other thing I want to know what the hell it is in part 1. This is a question for people watching. Assuming part 1 of iWorld is still up when y'all watch this video, can any of y'all figure out what in part 1 of iWorld is supposedly owned by Fox? Because I'm at a loss. I don't have a clue.
I don't know. I don't either.
Maybe some control that does it, you know. You know, because there's no verification involved, I guess they're...
Well, given that it happened like almost the second it was... It is. I don't think Fox owns 2001, do they?
I think that's a different company, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, on to more relevant stuff. It's like, do we even have any sympathy whatsoever for the dying television network?
PBS?
Well, now that you've said them. What about you, Bet? You have kids. Are you a fan of PBS?
No, well, yeah, because some of the PBS shows translate to cable. Like for the Sprout channel.
Yeah, well, no, that's the thing. PBS is all but dead at this point. They've lost their...
I like Frontline. Some shows from Frontline are good. And they have some good... every once in a while, National Geographic comes on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like some PBS stuff, but honestly, I don't see how they're going to stay in business because they've lost a major chunk of their funding, and they're just, I mean, stations are closing left and right across the country. It's so, them getting hacked might be the best thing that happened to them because now they're in the news as opposed to quietly being dismantled over the course of...
Yeah, now people donate to them.
Yeah. I'd like to donate so my information can be stolen by a hacker. How do I do that? It's like, I'm not sure that'll help in that regard.
Well, on Facebook, you do the same thing about donating. It's just with ads.
Yeah, well, honestly, if people don't know this, but there's a PBS.org, and every show that PBS does is available for stream on there. It wouldn't surprise me if they just wind up being the first television network to go all internet.
Yeah, but nobody would really watch it, people aren't really throwing away the idiot boxes yet.
Well, it is PBS stuff, that's whatever. No, some people can't throw away their cable boxes yet. I know none of us care, but does anyone believe that Sony's network will actually be up by the end of the week?
I don't know, they've been down for a while.
Well, they claim end of the week. We'll see. If Sony's network is up by the time this video is published, that means they were serial. They were super serial.
Okay, you and your South Park references.
Alright, what's wrong with Man, Bear, Pig? That's what I'm calling that man to the day I die. I'm sorry. He is Man, Bear, Pig.
Wait, what's his name?
His name is Man, Bear, Pig. If you say his name, I have infringed on intellectual property and the copyright police will come take me away. Don't say his name.
Okay, Man, Bear, Pig it is.
Getting into non-related to anything. But you're a big person on the processor wars and crap. What do you think about this ever-increasing, spur by Intel that they're, it's like, we're revolutionizing technology. We're going to dominate this market. Like, they're toting that trumpet just a little too much, and everything everything they're toting is like, literally, like next 6 months and crap.
So what, you asking for my opinion, or what?
To me personally, it seems like they're protesting a bit too much. Like they're almost trying to oversell that they're the processor company.
Well, they have the nickname Chipzilla, so.
Oh yeah, I know that, but it's one of those. As of late, they're advertising and they're pushing this. You need an Intel. Everything must be Intel. So much, we talked about this, that we think there's AMD might be going ARM in 2 years. We might be having ARM desktop size. Like, do they see the writing on the wall? Are they trying to do proactive damage control here or something? Or
no, I think they're a bit now. They're feeling the pressure.
And that's why they licensed out x86 for embedded applications to third parties, right?
What?
Hey, Connie, can you hear him now, Bit?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That could be why that they license out x86 to embedded applications to third parties.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
they've been licensing x86 out for a long time. AMD is obviously a big holder of the x86 license.
Well, AMD is like really the only choice, but they haven't really licensed out to anybody else besides them,
Well, they want to get in mobile. The problem is that their architecture, while it's great on desktops, just doesn't.
Well, personally, I believe that AMD is their only excuse for not being in antitrust cases, and even then, they're still getting in them.
I don't know about the antitrust thing, but I'm with Bit. It comes down to the architectural limitations. I never honestly ever see, no matter how lightweight they make it, any processor that comes out of Intel being able to compete pound per pound with these ARM processors that are in the mobile space. Intel is not suited to that environment.
Well, I'm just not sure how x86 overcomes an extra layer versus another architecture that doesn't need it, and that's the real challenge when it comes down to crunching. Intel dominated the desktop and even the server markets because of price and volume of what they have, and they can just throw all kinds of cores into it, and software has really allowed them to. And that's, in essence, one of my core pillar statements, if anybody's seen my videos like Behind the Bit or anything like that, is that the Windows itself being x86 based and Intel fed off of each other to become this gigantic empire of computing that did become the obvious, the standard that most people are used to. The thing of it is if you've had history beyond that, you'd know how the prices went.
Oh, yeah.
And Intel flexed its muscles, utilized software that really was meant for an x86, and basically leveraged that price along with Windows to begin to conquer the server markets, which were, yes, very expensive with RISC architecture, but you had more customized software. Now, Intel and Windows aren't going to hit your very, very high-end server markets, but they tried to with Itanium, and that's why Itanium had its own set of software. But so long as software stays where it's not going to be as threaded, then really what's the point for price per pound of what you're doing? Spark chips with 64 threads is obviously meant to be very threaded, in terms of what it expects for software to be able to run. It's like
Well,
saying,
and there's another reason here. Like you're saying, software side and stuff. Honestly, I would like to see desktop systems start running ARM for another reason too, and that more and more of these mobile devices are becoming our computing devices. For a lot of average users, and ARM just makes so much more sense in that arena. And one of the devices.
Well, not yet. I mean, ARM is going to dominate mobile. I just don't see Intel, even with their 3D transistors. Really, that's catch up.
But see that's how it is now. And one of the things I really do think we're going to see in the next 5 years or so is we're going to start seeing hybrid devices, where it's the device is a phone, but it plugs into. I mean, we already have primitive versions of these, like the phone that plugs into the keyboard and turns into a laptop, or
the Asus E-Pad transformer.
Yeah.
That's a tablet, and then you put it into a keyboard thing.
But
it turns into a laptop.
No, but here's the thing. What I consider the true ultimate evolution of devices like that is the dock you're plugging it into is a whole separate device in and of itself, but they're using the same architecture, so they augment each other. Like there's a desktop grade but desktop grade processor in that dock extension that then augments the power of that mobile device, turns it into a true desktop or laptop or whatever device, and you basically just have your link and go around and dock everywhere, and you dock it into your thing and so on and so forth. And I only really see that working well if they're both running the same platform, so that because if you have to be converting between one architecture to another, it's going to be very inefficient. But if it's just an augmentation of, now I have all of this at my disposal, I can run in this mode, and that's honestly where I'm seeing computing going.
Well, there's going to be a period of definite, maybe some universal binary similar to what Apple's done. I don't see why Intel just wouldn't buy an ARM license. I have no problems with Intel fabbing RISC chips.
I don't.
Intel is awesome at chip manufacturing. They can turn chips out like there's no tomorrow. And Intel, while I bash them a lot, on other sides of things, have a lot of good technological innovations. I liked where they went with some of the memory models, like fully buffered DIMMs and other things that they've tried to make for the x86 platform or architecture that they've mimicked other places. The thing I don't like is, but I don't blame them because everybody else does it. They always repackage something that's from some of the damn technology that's been out there.
Oh no, I know, I know, but see that's the thing. Intel will be able to do that a lot less, at least to profitability margins, if that change happens, because they're going to be largely competing with the same stuff as everyone else, rather than some Intel juice with other stuff wrapped in. If they're all, it's a change that Intel's going to have to adapt to. I'm with you. I believe they can, whether or not they're going to, and I'm not sure they want to, because
because they would have to compete.
Well, at the end of the day,
in x86 they don't really have to compete. They only have to compete with AMD, and it's really, it's not really as open as
it's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while to get software moves slower. At least it's doing it now. Now that could change. I mean, then we could, like what Apple's done with Grand Central. I think that's an awesome maneuver. Adoption by developers.
Well, no, honestly, love or hate it, because like you're saying, Apple's ready for this change. Linux is ready for this change. BSD is ready for this change. The thing that's going to determine the rate at which this is adopted is going to depend on how Windows does Windows 8, which is supposed to be supporting this architecture. If they've put a good layer in there that will allow proper, but we don't know how that's going to work yet. You know.
Would you say Commodore if Microsoft what now? What did Commodore say?
Commodore, what'd you say?
I said if Windows 8's going to be an next Vista, we're going to be in some trouble with ARM.
No, look, Vista. Vista was the essential whipping boy for the change that Microsoft took for real security measures. They finally went from single user admin roles to actual if you want to call it user shells.
Yeah,
I still think there's a weakness to
Here were the problems with Vista. A, it was a permission change thing. It's still not a true multi-user system, but there were a lot of changes there. B, Microsoft drew a line in the sand, which basically broke a lot of legacy stuff. And you're right. Vista was the whipping boy for that. You know, whenever you draw that line in the sand, whatever draws it is going to get nothing but bad flack by anybody who has anything on the other side of the line. And the other thing that Vista got a lot of flack for was
the UI.
They oversimplified a lot of the UI stuff. All of that stuff is still there in Windows 7. In fact, there's even more of the same. But it's not an oh dear God culture shock anymore. They got people that had a few years to get used to it, so they had figured out the method to the new madness. And most people won't admit this to themselves, but the reason they're not as mad at 7 is because they now understand it.
Yeah, but what about people that skipped Windows Vista and went from XP to 7, you know?
Those people react initially to Windows 7 like people did to Vista, but because there's enough people around that went through Vista, odds are in their circle of 5 friends, somebody used Vista and goes, oh, that's real simple, that's over here now, as opposed to nobody knowing where the hell it is. That was it with Vista. It's like the IT experts. I haven't found it yet. I will, but I haven't found it yet.
Now, when the IT guys don't know what to do, you know they're doing something wrong. You're screwed when all the geeks don't know what the hell to do.
Well, and honestly, I think that's what gave Vista its irredeemable reputation.
I'm glad Microsoft did it though, and I think that Microsoft's done leaps and bounds awesome. They may not have the exact same Unix shell model. I think their registry is a big central fork, but they've got one hell of a hard shell now around that system to crack.
No. I'm fine with the technological innovations in Vista/Vista 2.0, aka 7. There are a couple of things I wish a more advanced user could do. I would still like to be able to put in some stuff that can be used for bad, for good, but you should have to be a more advanced user to do that. I just wish there was a way they'd put in a way for me to do that. The other thing I would like to see them add to the UI, if they're not going to add multiple desktops, which they're probably not going to do in Win 8, I would like to see them add the ability to customize the desktop a little bit more, so if I don't like the Vista I UI and I want to go for more the other one, I can. There is not a good way to get there from here. If you don't want to use that super bar they've come up with, if you want to use there isn't a good way to have the usability of that super bar without, it's basically you can have all or nothing. There is that in-between hybridization. There's not a way to customize it to that.
Right.
Which a lot of users, depending on their workflow, would want.
Yeah, I'm a big Spaces fan. I mean, there was something even that Red Hat 6.5 had, was the whole multiple desktops early on.
Well, and here's the thing. I think the code for it is in the Vista/7 UI. Because on a lot of Windows 7s, I've taken screen captures where the result that comes out shows this whole other desktop space, but I can't see it on the screen, but it shows that it's there. And they have integrated a lot of KDE code into that. It literally is KDE code in there, which supports multiple desktops. I think it's something Microsoft has just chosen not to enable, but I think it's there.
It's a limitation of Explorer, though.
Yeah, well, no, it may be a limitation of Explorer. They may have to rewrite Explorer to handle. I don't know. And here's the thing. Honestly, Microsoft may think Windows doesn't need multiple desktops. Maybe they're deliberately leaving it out. You know, it's.
Yeah, Bible.
It's. I mean, we don't.